a quien quiera cantar el trimantra.
So, so, thank you, Christian. Good to be with you. Let's just
Very nice. I just can't translate the first hour. Then
okay.
someone will have to
All
take
right.
the.
All right. Yeah. I mean, the English will be in front of you. Today we just have the English only, but next week we'll have English, Portuguese, English, sorry, English, Spanish, English, Spanish. Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
All right. So, let us have one volunteer for the three mantra, please. Uh-huh.
Un
Yes.
voluntario para el trimantra, por favor.
If not, then
Anila.
Hola, Anila. Uh-huh. Yes.
Linda.
Yes. Yes, Anila.
Empiezo ya.
Hmm?
Namo Vita Dagai, Namo Arihantanam, Namo Sitanam, Namo Ayarianam, Namo Vatsayanam, Namo Loesavasaunam, Eiso Pancha Namukaro, Sauvapa Vapanashano, Mangalanam Saviti, Padaman Havam Mangalam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vatsudavai, Om Namah Atsivai, Jai Satchitanam, Namo Vidadagai, Namo Adihantanam, Namo Sitanam, Namo Ayarianam, Namo Vatsayanam, Namo Loesavasaunam, Eiso Panchanamukano, Sauvapa Vapanashano, Mangalanam Savesti, Padaman Kavan Mangalam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchitanam, Namo Vidadagai, Namo Adihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayadiyanam, Namo Vatsayanam, Namo Lovestavasavunam, Eso Pancha Namukaro, Sauvapa Vapanashano, Mangalanam Savasavati, Padaman Kavan Mangalam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchitanam, Jai Satchitanam, Jai Satchitanam, Jai Satchitanam.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Satchitanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Satchitanand.
All right. Welcome, Pedro. Pedro.
Bienvenido, Pedro.
And Shuddha.
Yes. Okay. And Sandra. Wonderful, Sandra. Jai Sachidanand,
Sandra.
everyone.
Jai
And
Satchitanand.
Marcella and everyone. Okay. So let me now share. It's having finished the December 2024 Dadavani, at least the reading portion.
Terminando el Dadavani el 24 de diciembre.
The reading is the first external act. Everything else is an internal process. And so that is why we had 19 sessions, you see, of almost 21 pages of it, you see. So per page we had a session. Per page, almost we had 2 hours, So and that is also just the beginning. That kind of lets us appreciate. You read something, you appreciate the beauty of it, and he starts touching you, and then you go deeper into it, you see.
Leer es el único proceso externo que tenemos acá, todo el resto es un proceso interno. Y por eso hemos tenido este trabajo de gastarnos a veces cada 2 horas o cada sesión con una página y hemos leído una cantidad enorme de páginas hasta ahora y estamos en eso.
And so this is this new heading. The 325 was all about interference, you see. And beyond
Los
that,
325 eran solo sobre interferencia, pero más allá de eso.
and now Dada leads us even higher in the April 2025 Dadavani, which is that all interference and its effects stop by remaining in the state as the Knower-Seer, Gnata Drashta, Gnata Drashta.
Pero ahora nos tenemos que ir más allá y lo que hace es que Dada nos necesita en el estado de sin interferencia y sin efectos, de que estemos más allá todavía de ese estado, sin efectos que nos estén molestando. Y ese es el estado de Gnata Drashta, conocedor y observador.
Right, so, stop means there is really, now by this, the interference, if it has bothered any one of us, then the only answer is to become the knower and the seer, and not to become, but to be, because we have already become that in the Gnan Vidi, and now we just have to be the Knower-Seer.
Y ahí tiene que ver con la palabra stop, que es parar, de mantenernos en el conocedor observador. Esa es la única respuesta y la forma de terminar con estos efectos de estar en Gnata Drashta con el conocedor y observador. Entonces ya nosotros nos hemos transformado en eso. Ahora la petición es estar en ese lugar.
So now we begin the Dadavani. Skip the editorial and come to Dada. So the first heading is when you become Chandulal, Chandubai, there is negligence.
Aquí el primer título es cuando tú te transformas en Chandubai, eso es negligencia.
Questioner. Dada has given Bhed Gnan. Bhed Gnan means knowledge that separates the self from the non-self. That's called Bhed Gnan, you see. And
Y aquí la pregunta es Dada nos ha dado el Bednan, que es el conocimiento que separa el ser del no ser.
And he has separated us. You see, this is the separation, you see. I am separate. The self, I as the self is completely separate, but Chandubai still remains, doesn't he? He is going to remain for however many years he is destined to remain, isn't he? Chandubai, the pudgal, the non-self complex, will remain, won't it?
Y entonces dice, nos ha separado, yo estoy separado y el ser está completamente separado. Para Chandubai todavía se mantiene o no, se va a mantener muchos años y los años que esté destinado a sostenerse. No está así. Chandubai de Pudgal, el complejo del no ser, se va a mantener o no lo va a hacer.
So, Dadashri replies, it will remain. That pudgal will remain. Pudgal, that is a mixture, that which fills and empties, will remain. Pudgal, you see?
Eso, la respuesta de Dada, eso se va a mantener. Esto, Pudgal, se va a mantener. El que se llena y se vacía, se va a mantener.
Yeah. Pudgal, I'm writing in the chat, it is Puran. Puran means filling, and Galan means emptying, you see? So now, for example, everything that is happening to each one of us through this mind, speech, and body is really the emptying of what was filled in the last life, you see.
Después, Puram significa llenarse y Galan, perdón, significa vaciarse. Esto es lo que ha venido pasando vida tras vida, y lo que nos pasó desde la vida pasada.
So, the and Dadashri further refers. He says, it's suppose you have, but you, the awakened one, this Y capital, is the awakened one. So the one who says Soyamapura, you have surrendered the pudgal, in the Gnan Vidhi. Amanvachan Kaya Maranamni Sarva Maya, all illusion related to my name and this mind, speech, and body. And all the charge, discharge, karma, Dada, I am surrendering to you. You see?
Entonces el tú o el yo aquí, que es el yo con mayúscula, se ha entregado en el Nambidi, en la ceremonia del Nambidi, se ha entregado a Dada, se ha entregado con todo lo que tiene y bueno, lo repitió en Gujarati.
Now, you see, so now, having surrendered the pudgal, now after the surrender, the pudgal is subject to vyavasthit. And take out the word result. Personally, I know our Gnani likes to use it, but I just like to use it as Dada says, scientific circumstantial evidence, you see. So, is subject to...
Entonces ahora el pudgal ha quedado como objeto o como Javastit. Aquí dicen el resultado de las que son las evidencias científicas circunstanciales. Dice que el Nani le gusta decirlo así, pero a él le gusta simplemente decir como dice Dada o el concepto de Dada, que son las evidencias científicos circunstanciales.
Yeah. You see, pudgal, that which fills and empties, my friends, is continuously changing by the second or by the millisecond, even the 1,000th of a second. There is a change. You see, it's emptying, it's discharging, and having surrendered the pudgal, now it is the pudgal is in front of us. You see, Christian is in front of you, Shuddha is in front of him, me, I, and everything now, all that is surrendered is is subject to, is under the influence of scientific circumstantial evidence. You see, scientific circumstantial evidence is what is now seen in exactness. You see, go on.
Y lo que está viendo en este minuto es que estamos simplemente descargando, todo se está descargando a través del pudgal, lo que son las evidencias científicos circunstanciales. Ahora el pudgal está frente a nosotros y nosotros lo estamos observando descargarse. Y todo lo que está ocurriendo con el pudgal es a través de las evidencias científicos circunstanciales y a través de las descargas que le están ocurriendo al pudgal y empieza a funcionar a través de Javastit. Tú
Okay.
vas a seguir viendo esto.
All right. There's the mirror. There's the mirror.
Y ese es el espejo.
And does the mirror tell that which comes in front of it that this is the result? You see, mirror simply sees that one, you coming in front of the mirror in the morning in the bathroom, and you then leaving. You see, the mirror doesn't say this is the result. You see, so the Gnani is right in terms of the result. If you're looking for a reason, what happened? Why did it happen? But if where we are now at the level of Knower-Seer, there is no one to say this is the result. This is because when the moment you say this is the result, then who is saying that this is the result? You see, this is exactly in front of me. You see, this that is in front of me is scientific circumstantial evidence.
Entonces,
I'm taking you at a little bit higher level of interpretation of Vyavasthit.
Los vamos a llevar a un pequeño nivel más alto de interpretación de JavaScript. Entonces lo que sucede es que simplemente en la mañana es como vernos en el espejo. Cuando miramos en el espejo y somos capaces de observarnos en el espejo, no es que estemos buscando la razón ni es que estemos buscando el resultado. Simplemente estamos observando aquello que está frente al espejo. ¿Y quién es el que observa el espejo? Ahí estamos en el asiento del alma, por decirlo de alguna manera.
You see, this when the question is asked, why did this happen to me? I didn't deserve this. Now, the questioner is sitting in the relative, you see. The questioner is saying, why did this happen to me? I've never done anything wrong in my life and this happened to me now. Then to satisfy the questioner, the Gnani, our Deepak Bhai uses, this is the result that has arisen of causes laid in the last life which are now coming to you as vyavasthit. You see, so this is the result. You see, so it is with reference to a question that the answer result comes in. You see, when you go higher, everything that is unfolding, you see, everything that is unfolding is vyavasthit, everything and anything. You see.
Entonces, simplemente es cuando el nani contesta la pregunta de por qué me está pasando a mí en esta vida, por qué estoy teniendo esto, por qué cuando esta pregunta es hecha, es que simplemente es que uno está en el relativo. Y es ante esta pregunta en que uno está en el relativo, es que el nani le dice, esto es el resultado de la vida pasada, este es el resultado de la vida anterior. Pero en realidad nosotros estamos en un estado en que todo, y esto es ir un poco más alto en el conocimiento, todo lo que ocurre es Yavasti.
This is, you see, these are relative questions, and when 325 has not been reached, there is still interference, you see. Why? Who did this? When, seeing faults of others, kashayas are still in operation, then you have to face the results, you see, and you have to face the results. In other words, it's nobody else's fault. I'm suffering, and therefore it is my result, you see. My fault
Entonces,
of the past life got caught today, you see.
todas estas son preguntas de que uno no se encuentra en 325 grados, todavía somos molestados por las cosas que ocurren en el relativo, entonces finalmente estamos preguntando de quién o estamos echándole la culpa a alguien, estamos diciendo, ok, ¿de quién es la responsabilidad o de quién es esta culpa? Y en realidad todos sabemos que esto es Yavasti.
Yes, you see, and then when there is no kashais, and we, in the final pages of the 325 Dadavani, there is, as the kashais go, there is no interference, you see. So now the kashais go, there is no interference, there is only now what remains is, what is the next step is that you continue to see what happens, and what happens is correct and exacto, Niruma is to say correct and exact, and there is no adjective about the result or cause. This is how it is, you see.
Y entonces cuando ya no tenemos cachai, cuando estamos en 325, si vemos que o nos molesta o vemos el siguiente o juzgamos, tenemos que pasar al siguiente paso. Y el siguiente paso es que sencillamente nada nos molesta y que todo lo que ocurre en realidad es correcto y exacto. Niruma decía correct. Dice que esa es la forma en que ella lo hacía.
Correct. You see, and human beings make mistakes, but nature is exact, you see, and whatever the nature delivers is justice. Justice, and when the word justice is used, you are at a lower level. Justice for who? For the one who committed the fault. Who committed the fault? The one in ignorance in last life, and in this life, at this time, we have separated from it, and now it is called pudgal. And pudgal means that which fills and empties. Whatever was filled is coming out. That's all. Whatever was filled is coming out.
Entonces los errores, los humanos, errores que cometemos los humanos son los errores que vienen de la vida pasada, son aquel que cometió la falta, lo cometió en ignorancia, la cometió la vida pasada y hoy es el pudgal. ¿Y qué es lo que es el pudgal? Es aquel que o aquello que se llena y se descarga, o se llena o si se vacía, eso es el pudgal.
Yeah, I know. Now, so as far as your translation is concerned, I'm not interfering. The Gnani likes to use the word result or scientific circumstantial evidence. Dada, if you want to use Dada exactly, Dada doesn't use the word result. He just puts in the bracket scientific circumstantial evidence.
Respecto de la traducción en específico, al Nani le gusta decir el resultado de las circunstancias las evidencias científico-circunstanciales, perdón, pero respecto de dada, aquello que está aquí entre paréntesis, dada simplemente no usa este término del resultado, sino que habla de las evidencias científico-circunstanciales.
Good. And he also, you see, the thing is, scientific circumstantial evidence automatically implies that this is a force. This is the result. Scientific circumstantial evidence gives you the result. So you cannot say the result of result. Scientific circumstantial evidence means now it's over. This is right here in front of you, right here in front of me, and there is no complaint. When you say Vyavasthit, there is no one to complain. When you not say Vyavasthit, when you see Vyavasthit, then there is no one left to complain. Shuddha has zero grounds to complain. You see, it's Vyavasthit.
Entonces, cuando aquí hablamos de JavaScript, esto implica que esto es el resultado, no es que cuando se refiere al resultado de las evidencias científicos circunstanciales, hablar de evidencias científicos circunstanciales son en sí el resultado. Entonces, cuando se habla de esto y ya existe JavaScript, JavaScript es lo que está frente a tú, y no es lo que está sucediendo. No hay a quien ir a reclamarle, no hay a quien ir a decirle nada. JavaScript es simplemente lo que está sucediendo.
Yeah. Now, the next sentence is because the pudgal is subject, because you surrendered the pudgal. Okay, that's the most important thing. The most
El-
important word is you and I surrendered the pudgal. Now you see, it is no longer ours. You see, it goes under the control of scientific circumstantial evidence. If you and I had not surrendered the pudgal, then we'll say, no, I'm not going to allow this, and the ego comes in. And therefore, wherever the ego is, Vyavasthit moves aside, you see. It doesn't remain so, you see.
Entonces la frase que viene es la frase más importante porque nosotros nos entregamos a esto, por eso operan las evidencias científicos circunstanciales, Yavasti, nosotros hemos entregado, hemos rendido el Pudgal. Ya, esto es lo más importante, porque y el Pudgal es objeto de Javastit o sujeto de Javastit, y simplemente las cosas comienzan a suceder. Nosotros no decimos, no, es que esto tiene que haber sucedido de esta manera, no tiene que haber sucedido de la otra, simplemente estamos entregados o rendidos ante las evidencias científicos circunstanciales.
You see, and so the next sentence of Dada is that now this Pudgal, uh, now this Pudgal will change according to its Vyavasthit. You see, and function is not a very good word. I've just found, frankly, I did this translation, I finalized this, but I found, even as I read it, I found a little better word, which is, according to its Vyavasthit, it will keep changing. You see, it will keep changing according to its Vyavasthit. You see?
Y
It,
entonces,
mhm.
el Pudgal va cambiando a través de su propio JavaScript, va a ir cambiando aquí, colocó la palabra, o va a ir funcionando de acorde a su propio JavaScript, pero en realidad va a seguir cambiando acuerdo a su propio JavaScript.
You see? Give you an example here. You have something precious that you know, prize yourself, you give it a lot of value, and you always put it in the same place, you see, so that you can find it. But yeah, on a day comes when you can't find it, and then you say, wow, where did it go? And this, say the maid has come to clean up the home on that 2 days ago and you can't find it, immediately, without the evidence, without seeing her do anything, you will say, oh, maybe she took it, you see. Now, and
Digamos,
then,
por ejemplo,
yeah, go on. And,
digamos que la persona que les ayuda en la casa, la nana, quien sea, viene y ustedes tienen ahí algo que lo dejan siempre en el mismo lugar para poder tomarlo y poder eh, funcionar con eso. Y en algún minuto esto algún día les desaparece y ustedes dicen inmediatamente, sin culpar a nadie, dicen, la nana lo debe haber tomado.
yeah. And then suddenly, as you're about to lie down in bed, you move things around and there it is, between the bed and the bed frame, there it is, lying there, and all of us,
Y
yeah, you find it. So you see now, the evidences of this pudgal, the pudgal is now blaming in discharge the maid, but then the evidences change and you find it and you say no, again you say no, everything is fine. So you are aware, the pudgal is aware of the false blame on the maid, maybe she took it, suspicion, etc. You see, and this happens to each one of us, you see. It happens to all of us. Who took it? Where is he? You see, where is it?
Y entonces lo que sucede es que, por ejemplo, pensamos que lo hizo la nana, pero en la noche nos acostamos y vemos que encontramos el objeto entre el velador y la cama, o en el espacio que queda. Y entonces nosotros decimos, ah, bueno, está todo perfecto. Pero ¿quién hizo que nosotros en el principio dudásemos de la nana? ¿Quién hizo que nosotros creyésemos que podía haber sido ella? Todo esto es sujeto de JavaScript, quien dice que ahora que lo encontramos, dijimos
Yeah. So,
todo está bien.
yeah.
Simplemente,
Yes. So you see, a while ago, your mind and your chit was consumed in blaming the maid. And then as soon as you found it, everything is good and you are aware of regret, and a sense of shame and, blaming her, the poor lady who is just trying to clean your home to, make a little money. And you see, so what has happened now in this example, it'll keep, so this pudgal, the non-self complex called Shuddha or Christian, it's changing according to its vyavasthit. This is the vyavasthit of blaming somebody, vyavasthit of regret and maybe pratikraman, you see. It's all at the relative level. It is continuously changing. It is continuously changing. Today, if the news is that you blame somebody on the TV, and then tomorrow the news comes out, oh no, it was not by that person, here is a further evidence. So this is a constantly changing according to the vyavasthit of the pudgal. Vyavasthit of the pudgal, you see? Yeah, right?
y
Christian?
entonces acá lo que estamos viendo cambia, sí, aquí lo que estamos viendo es observando al Pudgal y viendo cómo el Pudgal y el JavaScript del Pudgal van cambiando. Primero nosotros sospechamos de la nana, la acusamos en algún minuto de alguna manera y después en la tarde somos capaces de observar al Pudgal y que nos venga el remordimiento de haber culpado a alguien que no, en realidad no tenía la culpa. Y estamos observando todo este quehacer, por decirlo de alguna manera, del Pudgal y estamos viendo cómo funciona JavaScript desde ese punto de vista. Y tanto esta sospecha, esta culpabilidad, como esta cosa después de hacer pratikrama, ¿no es cierto?, y sentirse culpable por haber tenido esta sospecha, simplemente tiene que ver con JavaScript. Todo esto es JavaScript.
Yes, it's a
Es el
vyavasthit.
JavaScript del Pudgal, solo dicho.
Yes, it's the pudgal, it's the vyavasthit of the pudgal, you see? Why? there is no, it's not happening to me. When you say it is vyavasthit of the pudgal, it's a vyavasthit of the non-self complex that has been surrendered. You see, you have surrendered Christian to the feet of the Gnani, to the Gnani Purush, and yours is the vision and the knowledge only. This is who you are, you see. You are a pure one of Dada now going to moksha, you see. We're going to liberation.
Y entonces cuando vemos Yavastit del Pudgal, vemos que esto no me está pasando a mí, nosotros entregamos nuestro ser a nuestro Pudgal a los pies del Gnani Purush, entonces simplemente esto no nos está pasando a nosotros, eso le está pasando al complejo del no ser.
So then the correct answer, correct interpretation is the Pudgal is subject to Vyavasthit. Exact meaning is scientific circumstantial evidence, because you see, this is an inner thing. The scientific circumstances, you can't find your thing, and therefore you immediately blame the maid because nobody else had come inside the home. Now, you see, but you don't realize that you were, it was your fault for not placing it in the right location, you see. And see, all of these things are what's going on inside this pudgal, each one of us. At one time you have these feelings, another time you have this views and these feelings, and and which one are you going to do pratikraman for, and which one are you not going to do pratikraman for? This is just continuous. So now, yes, it is for having negative thoughts about the maid and calling her a thief inside. You see, at the lower level, in other words, in previous Dadavani levels, at 325 level, you would have had to do pratikraman. You would have had to do pratikraman. Oh dear, pure soul within the maid, please forgive me. You have come to my home to help me clean up, and I am having this bad thought. I had these bad thoughts, you see. And you give me the energy, dear pure soul, inside that maid, never to repeat this mistake again. So this is pratikraman and pratyakyan. I will never do this again. So at the lower level, this is needed. We are now at the Gnata Drashta level, at the Knower-Seer level. You understand the level now?
Entonces nosotros esto ocurre cuando estamos a 325 y somos capaces de ver todo este proceso interno que ocurre dentro de nosotros y que ocurre dentro del Pudgal respecto del Javastit. Y lo que nosotros hacemos es simplemente pedirle ver lo que ha sucedido, este proceso interno respecto de la nana y hacer pratikraman y pedirle y decir que no vamos a cometer nunca más este error y hacer el praktikan, reconocer aquello que pedir la fuerza para que no vuelva a ocurrir el error dentro de nosotros y todo esto es simplemente las interferencias y esto es objeto de Javastit que está ocurriendo en este proceso interno de funcionamiento del que hablamos hace un rato sobre Javastit dentro de nosotros.
Yes. You see, so it will keep changing according to its vyavasthit, you see. And it will keep changing according to its vyavasthit. At one time, it is happy and it loves everyone around. At another time, it says, get out, or, I wish they leave. I don't like anyone here. It keeps changing according to its vyavasthit. Why should you get involved in it, you see?
Y esto va a ir cambiando dentro de nosotros de acuerdo a Javastit. Alguna vez va a estar tremendamente contento y feliz y otra vez puede estar agresivo y sospechoso. Y ese es el Javastit que está ocurriendo dentro de nosotros y esto está constantemente cambiando.
Uh-huh. You see, so you, again, the enlightened one of Dada, the awakened one of Dada, Soyamapura, should keep seeing that, you see. Keep seeing the changing of the Pudgal according to its Vyavasthit, you see.
Y tú, aquel que está iluminado, el que está entregado a Dada, el que está iluminado por Dada, simplemente lo que está haciendo es que tiene que estar observando este cambio interno de Javastit que está ocurriendo en el Pudgal.
Mm-hmm. You should keep seeing what the Pudgal is doing. What the pudgal is doing. You see, there is activity in the mind, activity in the body, and activity of the body and also of speech. You see, so everything that the pudgal is doing, keep seeing that.
Y lo que nosotros tenemos que hacer es seguir observando lo que el pudgal está haciendo, la actividad del pudgal en la mente, la actividad del pudgal en el cuerpo, la actividad del pudgal en el habla. Es nuestro rol es de estar observando todo aquello que está ocurriendo en el pudgal.
And this is your Purusharth. P capital Purush means the self, and this is the real Purusharth. In other words, this is what when you say this is real Purusharth, this is your Purusharth. This is your progress as the self. This is your, the awakened one now, all of these Amapuras that are now of Dada sitting here in this satsang, what is their Purusharth? To Purusharth, exact meaning is to progress as the self. So Amapura, now move as the Amapura. Move, you see, move, physical, it's not a physical movement, but, you utilize these energies, use these energies of the Amapura, you see. Upayog.
Y entonces este es en realidad el Purushart, observar lo que está ocurriendo o no ocurriendo en el cuerpo, en el ser. Este es nuestro Purushart, esta observación es nuestro progreso. ¿Y qué significa este progreso? Es simplemente observar lo que está ocurriendo, usar la luz, la energía del alma pura para observar aquello y progresar. ¿Cuál es el progreso? Seguir observando aquello que está ocurriendo dentro de nosotros y en el Pudgal.
Yes. So in other words, what you do is apply this awareness. Swayamapura, applying this awareness is our Purushartha. This awareness is such that this awareness is such, this is the awareness. What is this awareness? Purusharth. What does Purusharth mean? Keep seeing the changing evidences of the Pudgal, of the non-self complex. That is the Purusharth. Amapura cannot see itself. Amapura can only see what is, see file 1, you see. Amapura cannot see itself. If you're the Amapura, the mirror cannot see itself. The mirror can only reflect what comes in front of it.
Y entonces lo que nos compete o lo que nos toca es aplicar esta conciencia, usar esta energía, usar esta conciencia y aplicarla de tal manera de poder seguir viendo el complejo de la mente, cuerpo y alma, el complejo del Pudgal, seguir observando este Javastit que está cambiando en el proceso del Pudgal, porque el alma pura, eso es lo que hace, eso es lo que tiene que hacer, eso es el Purusharth, observar, porque el alma pura no se puede observar a sí misma. El espejo no se puede observar a sí mismo, ese no es el rol.
Yeah, and you see, our English language translation team from India, whenever they see a word, they automatically, it's not their prior writing it. They're using AI and they just kind of substitute the standard meaning from the glossary. Here, I would, whatever is highlighted in blue, I would delete it because Dada just described the Purusharth. You're right. Christian, they says you should keep seeing what the pudgal is doing, and that is your Purusharth. If you really want to say what it is, this is in brackets the progress as the self. If instead of seeing you interfere, then you have nobody to blame except yourself because you interfered. You see.
Y entonces acá cuando habla del Puruchar, todo esto que está en azul, él lo borraría. Él dice que el equipo de la India lo que está haciendo es ocupar inteligencia artificial y rellenando los espacios, pero que al final esto es como una redundancia que no tiene mucho sentido, en el sentido de que este Purushat, el hecho de que lo que hablamos adelante, que es esta observación del Javastit que está ocurriendo dentro del Pudgal, ese es el Purushat. Esto de Este es el observar cómo se está moviendo el Javastit dentro del Pudgal, es el Purushart en sí, el sostenerse en ese lugar. Entonces, este otro redundante y no tiene sentido, esto él simplemente lo borraría.
Because when Dada gives you the definition here, the meaning, We don't need to put a bracket and explain it further, you see. And glossary meaning is different.
Porque dice que
Yeah.
dice que cuando Dada nos da simplemente la definición de lo que es el Purushat, nosotros no tenemos que dar otra definición y agarrar el glosario que está en la página y volver a ponerle otra definición encima.
The real exact meaning of Purusharth is the be who you are and to attain its meaning. In other words, having attained who am I, having known who am I, having experienced who am I, then the progress has to be further in the realm and the domain of who am I. That is the Purusharth, you see. So, for that, the initial steps are 5 agnas, and now when the 5 agnas have become natural, now we are entering into the Knower-Seer state, you see.
Y él dice que el Purushat es ser quién eres, es observar y obtener quién eres y experimentar en realidad quién eres. Y una vez que ya los 5 agnas son automáticos en nosotros, simplemente estamos entrando en el reino del conocedor y observador.
Yeah, so Purusharth is a combination of Purush plus Arth. Arth means meaning. So what is the meaning of being the self? Somebody says, you say, Christian says, so I'm a pura, so I'm a pura, so I'm a pura. What's the meaning? So your friend hears this and they say, what are you saying? What's the meaning of it? And that meaning is an internal thing. You be who you are and then you see what's going on in front of you.
Entonces, cuando decimos, por ejemplo, soy alma pura, soy alma pura, soy alma pura, ¿cuál es el significado de esto en realidad? El significado de esto en realidad es ser quienes somos, es estar donde debemos estar, ser quienes somos y desde ese lugar observar aquello que está viviendo el relativo.
Yeah, so, earth. Earth means meaning. Earth means to me. Earth, what's the meaning of
Y
it?
él,
You say earth. What is the meaning of all of
perdón,
this? Yeah.
sorry, Shoa,
Uh-huh. Earth.
I missed one, porque
Uh-huh.
él había dicho que Purushat está definiendo ahora, está separando el término Purushat y está definiendo qué es lo que significa Purushat.
Yeah. When we talk about Purusharth, obviously there is now we having in this surrendered the pudgal, there are 2 types or 2 levels of Purusharth, but there now the other level as Soyama Christian, Soyama Gabi is gone, you see, to do something good, to help others, you see, to follow the commandments, you see, all of this is relative Purusharth, but you see, it is a Purusharth, that was the Purusharth of illusion, you you are not Gabi, so how can you stop lying? Gabi Gabi's makeup, Prakriti makes her lie or makes her angry. Why? How does that connect to you? You see, in other words, that is why it is called the Purusharth of illusion. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm never going to tell a lie, etc. Right? That is the Purusharth of illusion. Relative Purusharth.
Y entonces hay 2 tipos de Purushat. Uno es el Purushat, uno es el Purushat del relativo. Entonces hay 2 niveles, por ejemplo, el ayudar a otros. Es un nivel de Purushat relativo, es un nivel de Purushat de ilusión. Simplemente, por ejemplo, Gaby puede decir, yo no voy a mentir más o yo no me voy a enojar. Y en realidad eso no está en ella, eso es un Purushat absolutamente relativo en el que ella está viendo lo que quiere hacer o no quiere hacer, pero ese no es el Purusharth real.
Yeah, well, that's what exists in the world. What people do is I have to get up early in the morning, I have to do this, I have to do this, they make a list of all the activities they to do during the day, and at the end of the day they'll say, geez, here I couldn't finish even half of that, or I messed up, you see. So this is the ignorance, not knowing who the real doer is. The doership is nothing but an exercise in futility, doing this and doing that. It's an exercise in futility. It's, you may succeed, you may not succeed, but you do not know what is the reason why you succeed and what is the reason why you fail, you see.
Entonces lo que sucede es que lo que está haciendo es que esto es lo que hace la persona en sus actividades en la mañana, se levanta, hace una agenda, una lista de actividades de lo que va a hacer, y esto en realidad no tiene nada que ver con el Purushart, esto simplemente es eh, aquello que está en el relativo, es un ejercicio de futilidad, no tiene nada que ver con los resultados que va a obtener, porque en realidad los resultados que va a obtener no son sujeto de esto que está haciendo, esto es simplemente algo fútil, es un esfuerzo fútil.
Yes, and so now you see this, we are in these very fundamental first paragraph sentences and the second paragraph answer, you see, so much is revealed by Dada. We see so much depth in this, you see, and Dada is making it so simple. You surrendered the pudgal. Pudgal is subject to scientific circumstantial evidence. Pudgal will change according to scientific circumstantial evidence. You just keep seeing what the pudgal is doing, period, and it's over.
Y esta frase que sigue es una frase que es muy importante y es tan simple, ¿no es cierto? Porque lo que hace es que es tan simple, simplemente lo que tú has hecho es entregarle el pudgal y rendir el pudgal a Yavastit. Y simplemente lo único que tienes que hacer es observar al pudgal.
That's
Es
it.
así de simple.
You see how complicated we Mahatmas tend to make it? You see?
Y ven que lo complicado que lo queremos hacer los Mahatmas.
Yeah, this is the kind of Prakriti that it's not anybody's fault. That's what's in the Prakriti. And until the Prakriti lets go, until the Prakriti, which is the mind, speech, body plus ego. Prakriti is not only just the Pudgal, that fills and empties, but it's got the ego in it, you see, and it's a discharging ego. And the heavier the discharging ego from past life, the heavier it will be in this life, you see. Same with this, so that the ego simply won't let go. It's a discharging ego, for heaven's sake. It will only discharge if you shut up and don't touch it. But you see,
Entonces, dice, y nosotros complicamos, los Mahatmas complicamos la vida simplemente porque porque en el Prakruti está todo el Prakruti, pero también está el ego, y el ego está inserto dentro del Prakruti. Entonces lo que tenemos que hacer simplemente es no complicarnos y observar el Prakruti, ya que el ego está dentro de él, y ver cómo esto se va descargando y ser los conocedores y observadores de este Prakruti que se está descargando, nada más.
yeah. So this one we are going to eliminate. This one here, it doesn't need. Dada has already talked about what is the Purusharth here. You see,
Esto lo
now,
vamos a eliminar, que es lo que es el Purushart, porque Dada ya habló de lo que era el Purushart.
yeah, and over all these years, everyone here in the satsang knows the word Purush and knows the word Purusharth. You see, Purusharth,
Y en
yeah.
los satsang todos saben la palabra Purush y la palabra Purushart.
Purusharth initially is 5 agnas. That is called loving Dada, being with Dada. And then you graduate to this level, which is the Purusharth of what Reinhild is doing, Luz is doing, Gabi is doing. That's all, you see.
Y el Purushart significa en principio es los 5 agnas, que es el amor a Dada, y después el siguiente nivel es este que estamos hablando y este que está haciendo Reinhard, el que está haciendo Luz, el que estamos haciendo todos, que es esta observación,
this is
este estado.
this is Akram Vignan in exactness of Nada, you see. Gnanvidi, 5 agnas, and understanding these agnas, the application of the agnas, and then ultimately it will come to the level where automatically there is the acceptance of that which is in front of you, which is the changing evidences of the changing evidence of the pudgal. You see, the pudgal evidence keeps changing, and that is vyavasthit. You see, one time he is feeling great in the morning, in the afternoon he has got a headache, right? I mean, there's changing evidences. Which now I've had a wonderful day. Which one will you call a wonderful day? All adjectives and opinions are also part of the changing evidence of the pudgal, of that which has been surrendered.
Y entonces esto es Akram Vignan, son el Gnambidi, los Agnas y esto que es la aceptación de aquello que está frente a ti. Este es el nivel de la aceptación de todo aquello que ocurre frente a ti. Este Yavasti, del cambio de las evidencias. Hay veces que uno está feliz en la mañana y se levanta maravilloso, hay veces que uno está enojado, hay veces que uno tiene un dolor de cabeza. Y ese cambio dentro del Yavasti, de esa mutación de las evidencias, a veces hay, cuando cambian los objetivos, cuando cambian las opiniones, eso también son cambios en el Javastit, son cambios en el Javastit del pudgal.
Okay, so now the questioner comes, you see, and I should keep seeing the pudgal, but should I also occasionally caution the pudgal or not? You see.
Y ahí la pregunta que viene dice, yo tengo que seguir observando al pudgal, pero yo también ocasionalmente debo cuidar del pudgal, ¿o no?
So Dadashri says, yes, you should caution the pudgal, but when he lapses into negligence, then you should caution him, you see. In other words, when
Entonces Dadashi dice, sí, tú tienes que cuidar del pudgal, pero cuando cae en negligencia, entonces es cuando tú tienes que cuidar de él.
here, this negligence is like, uh, is equivalent to failing to failing in the goal of not hurting anyone, you see. Because
Esta negligencia es fallar en el principal objetivo de no dañar a nadie.
yeah. Again, you and I know now, we hurt other people. We don't hurt, you and I don't hurt others, but hurt and pain happens in discharge, you see. The discharge stuff that we have carried from past life sometimes hurts other human beings. And and when that happens, you see, and she says, yes, you should. He says, hey, what's going on? You're saying you're the knower and seer, but you're hurting that other person. You see? So that is where you have to caution him. Watch it, man, you're hurting the other person,
Y aquí en el tema de la negligencia, nosotros estamos, ya no dañamos a nadie, pero en la descarga sí se daña gente y hay gente que está dañada cuando existen las descargas y entonces acá es donde esta explicación de la negligencia toma sentido porque es ahí donde tenemos que tener cuidado de no dañar a nadie o de observar cuando estamos dañando a alguien en la descarga.
So the questioner says, oh, File 1, or the pudgal prakruti, he lapses into negligence all the time. In other words, hurtful activity in the mind, speech, you see, or sometimes the body. So then Dadashri says, no, beautiful answer of Dada, look at that. No, it is the unfolding of karma that makes him do all this. Okay.
Y entonces acá quien está preguntando está diciendo, entonces él cae en la negligencia todo el tiempo porque está dañando a la gente. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que está ocurriendo? Está en esta negligencia. La respuesta hermosa de Dadachi dice, no, es el karma que se está descargando o desarrollando el que hace que él haga esto. No es que él esté dañando.
Yeah, it's something, some other energy is doing it.
Y esto es
And
como que es otra energía que lo está haciendo.
it is happening as part of the discharging karma complex effect. You see, effect gives effect. In other words, the effect, as soon as we are born, the effect now is happening. Effect of causes created in the last life, they start happening from the very time when we are in the womb of the mother, you see, until we take our last breath. It is all an effect. It is just continuing to unfold. But it is that effect, if you, which is includes this negligence, you see. You know, no matter how straight and careful you want to be, yet the hurt to the other human being will happen, you see.
Y este efecto es un efecto que es una descarga que está ocurriendo a través del todo el tiempo, desde que nosotros estamos dentro del vientre materno, dentro de la matriz materna, hasta el día que nos vamos. Simplemente es el efecto de aquello que se ha plantado en la vida anterior y se va desarrollando este efecto en que vamos... el efecto de la descarga incluye este daño a los otros, de repente dañamos a otros a través de este efecto, de esta negligencia que tuvimos en la vida anterior.
Okay. So now let me just while I'm reading again, because every time I read the Gujarati, I get beautiful new words from Dada here. Okay, so having said this much, Dada says, however, you should go around with your eyes open and with vigilance. That is all. In other words, the awareness
Entonces
of
le
who
estaba
you
viendo le estaba viendo ahora el Gujarati porque dice cada vez que lee las palabras en Gujarati encuentra un sentido nuevo y lo que está diciendo acá Dada es que en cualquier minuto, o sea, de todas maneras, quizás es la palabra, tú debes ir afuera, estar mirando y ser vigilante con los ojos abiertos de cómo está desarrollándose tu karma.
Yes, so here for all Mahatmas, we're entering into very interesting and amazing new territory here, because there's one thing to recognize that this is an effect. You see, this is discharge, This is Alicia's discharge, Shuddha's discharge, Gabi's discharge, etc., Luz's discharge. But you, however, you see, should not misuse that understanding. You see, that's what Dada is trying to say. You should not misuse that science of cause and effect. In other words, everything is an effect. What can I do? It's all discharge. It happened in discharge. What can I do?
Y aquí los Mahatmas tenemos que tener cuidado de no entrar en un territorio que es complejo y que es no mal usar este conocimiento. Y mal usar este conocimiento, ¿qué es lo que sería? Es decir, simplemente, bueno, ¿qué puedo hacer yo? No hay nada que pueda hacer, yo simplemente, esto es JavaScript, las cosas suceden porque tienen que suceder, nada más.
Yeah, so you see this, the understanding that the unfolding karma is making him do all this, him means pudgal, do all this, should not be misused. Otherwise, if you misuse it, the jagruti, your jagruti of seeing will become dim. So this is a warning. You see, if you keep saying, oh,
Ok.
this is all discharge, then your awareness and vigilance that the other talked about will decrease. Your light will become dim, you see. Your light will become dim.
Y esto simplemente es algo que vamos a leerlo, pero que es que dice que tienes que, el hacer esto, decir simplemente las cosas van a seguir ocurriendo y no hacer nada, dice que hay una advertencia dada que dice que tu Yagruti va a transformarse en dim, va a ir transformarse. What's the exact meaning of dim?
Dim,
Sila?
say you have 3 batteries in your torchlight, flashlight, right? And now when the
Okay.
and when the
Like the
flash
dimmer.
when the batteries become weak, then no matter how much you shake, there is not enough light. before it was bright, you see, so it's, yeah, yes, right.
Ok,
Yeah.
ok. Estaba entendiendo a qué se referían acá con Dim y dice que finalmente cuando dice Dada que hay que estar con los ojos abiertos, este entendimiento de cómo el karma se va descargando o se va desarrollando no tiene que ser mal usado. Tu yagruti, tu conciencia aplicada, si es que tú caes en esta negligencia, se va a transformar como un dim, y un dimmer es simplemente esto cuando le falta luz, cuando le falta energía a una ampolleta, a algo. El dimmer este con que uno regula finalmente la energía, y ese no es el objetivo de esto.
Yeah, you see, because it becomes, you get habituated, discharge, what can I do? That's the discharge, you see. That's how it was. No, you see, you cannot misuse the word discharge, you see. This is what Dada is talking about here, you see.
Esto entonces aquí lo que está hablando Dada es que simplemente no mal usar, por ejemplo, yo podría decir esto es una descarga, simplemente no hay nada que yo pueda hacer, es una descarga, y lo que está hablando acá Dada es de no mal usar el término descarga.
Yeah, now this is the interesting part. This next sentence is beautiful, classic Dada. If you see, then there is nothing else to be done. In other words, regardless of what happened, can you see what happened? Are you able to see it exactly as it's happening? You're not seeing it as it is happening to me or to you. You're seeing it as it is happening, period, happening. It is the changing evidence of the pudgal. It's the changing evidence of the pudgal, you see.
Y aquí lo que estás viendo tú, no estás viendo que si me está ocurriendo a mí o le está ocurriendo a él, o simplemente lo que tú simplemente, o si hay algo más que ser hecho, lo que estás viendo es simplemente que está ocurriendo. Eso es observar el Javastit, simplemente le está ocurriendo, no le está ocurriendo a ti, no le está ocurriendo a él, simplemente está ocurriendo. Esa observación es nuestro trabajo.
Yeah, and then that also comes the one who remains in the agnas, okay? And this is the exact definition of 5 agnas, 5 directives that preserve the awareness as the self in Akram Vignan. Not only preserves, the complete definition is 5 agnas, it preserves the awareness as the self in Akram Vignan, but also uh, sees the doer as it is, sees the correct doer. You say, Vyavasthit also is included. Vyavasthit lets you see what is happening. What is the Vyavasthit here? What is the Vyavasthit here? And that is simply answered as, that is the evidence. That is the evidence. You may not be able to see the change in the evidences of the pudgal, but that's what it is. You just see changes in the evidence of the pudgal. Today he has this complaint, in the afternoon his complaint will change. Day after tomorrow his complaint changes. This is so. Where is the complaint? Which complaint is the real complaint? You see?
Entonces, además del hacedor, y esto está incluido en el estar o esta observación, y está incluido en el Javastit. ¿Cuál es el Javastit? Simplemente es estar observando esta evidencia, estar observando incluso los reclamos o las opiniones del pudgal, en el sentido de que hoy los reclamos y las opiniones del pudgal son unos, mañana las opiniones y los reclamos del pudgal, perdón, son otros, y eso puede ser que no veas el cambio de las evidencias, pero estas opiniones, ¿no es cierto? Es el Javastit en sí, el estar viendo que hoy el pudgal opina de una manera o reclama de una manera y mañana ve de otra manera y reclama de otra manera.
Here again, beautiful sentence emphasizing what we know. Dada is now confirms it. The one who remains in the agnas, okay, is indeed seeing Chandubai. Run, period. You are,
Y aquí hay una frase muy,
uh-huh. Yeah.
Aquí hay una frase muy hermosa de Dada que dice que aquel que se mantiene en los agnas, que son las 5 directivas para prevalecer en la conciencia del ser, como en el Akram Vignan, aquel que aquel que se mantiene en los agnas está viendo a Chandubai.
Yeah, so the awareness in the five agnas is not only the awareness, but it is the five agnas. It became as a directive when we took the Gnan Vidhi, but then the five agnas become our vision, our state, you see, our knowledge, our Gnan. Five agnas become our Gnan. Initially, it was taken as an instruction and as a directive. Okay, see everybody is pure soul and see the relative and see the Vyavasthit and settle the file with equanimity and apply all of these for Agna 1, 2, and 3 or 4, and that is being in Satsang. So all of these things actually means you are seeing Christian, you're saying Anila, you see, you're seeing. We're already seeing, and that is what Dada has told us, and that is the Purusharth, you see. You see Christian's Vyavasthit, you see Anila's Vyavasthit. Anila's Vyavasthit as the evidences, unfolding evidences change Anila. Anila changes with Vyavasthit. And Anila changes because of Vyavasthit, Vyavasthit evidence is changing. You see?
Y aquí dice que nuestra misión, de alguna manera, es nuestro estado, nuestra visión, nuestro nan, es estar eh, en este estado, en este principio, en este lugar, es esta fórmula de estar acá, porque finalmente lo que pasa es que nosotros estamos en una eh, principio, lo que ocurre cuando nos entregan el NAN es unas directrices para estar, mantente dentro de los 5 agnas, resuelve tus archivos con ecuanimidad, está en los primeros 3, los otros van a ocurrir, mantente en esa posición, pero el verdadero Purusharth ahora es sostener esto, porque nosotros vamos cambiando y las evidencias van cambiando y las evidencias nos van cambiando, las evidencias de Anila, las evidencias de Cristian, las evidencias de cada uno de nosotros van cambiando y va mutando este JavaScript que está en nosotros. Por lo tanto, esto está haciendo que nosotros sigamos esto, resuelve con ecuanimidad. Todo eso es una directriz de finalmente ahora nosotros estamos en un estado, estamos accediendo a un estado donde esto ocurre de manera automática. Simplemente es mantenernos en ese estado.
Yeah. There is in this sentence now, there's a new definition of this negligence because Dadashri says, if he's in the Agnas, he's indeed saying Chandubai, so he does not need to be told anything. No, you don't need to caution Christian or you don't need to caution Anila. You see, you're in Agnas. But if he's not seeing, because if he's not seeing through these agnas, the seeing is because he can't see what Anila is doing at this level that we talked about. You see, then you have to kind of see Anila through the vision of the 5 agnas. You see, and so if you're in 5 agnas, you are not negligent at all. This is what you see. This is the ultimate definition of negligence. You miss 5 agnas, you're negligent, you see. So that is the awareness is exact on real relative vyavasthit's equanimity and satsang, you see. That is the exact definition of awareness, you see.
Entonces acá está hablando de la definición.
Yeah, sorry,
De
go
la
on.
definición no, de la definición de conciencia en que el estar entre los 5 agnas es de hecho estar observando a Chanduba y el estar en la observación. Cuando uno está dentro de los 5 agnas, no necesita que a uno le estén diciendo nada, no necesita que nada sea observado. o dicho para él o para ella, pero cuando uno no está observando, entonces uno que tiene que ser y cuidar y ver y ser cauteloso con el pudgal, cuando uno no está observando, pero cuando uno está dentro de los cinco agnas, cuando está inmerso dentro de ellos, es como todo fluye de alguna manera y simplemente está en ese lugar.
Oh. See this, my friends, from the ocean of pain and suffering, life after life. Our Dada has lifted each one of us absolutely, completely, never to really feel any effects of that pain, pleasure, uh, happiness, unhappiness, loss, grief, attachment, aversion, all of those effects of duality. He pulled us out of it, and now he wants to preserve that. You see, he wants to give you the exact purusharth, and the exact purusharth is the awareness of who you really are in all of this, who I really am in all of this, and what is going to happen to Marcella or Luz, or what is happening to Herman with reference to the changing evidence of Herman, you see, changing evidence of Luz, you see. These are the changing evidences. Changing evidences. Which one will you call? This is it. I want to grab this. No. You see, it's continuously changing evidences. And therefore
Y
he
esto
comes back to Agnas, you see. Yeah, go on.
Y el
Yes.
mantenerse en los agnas es simplemente estar observando este estado de Javas, este estado de constante cambio. No es querer tomar una evidencia o sacar otra evidencia, simplemente cuando ocurren cosas que son positivas, que no podemos ver, o cuando ocurren cosas que son negativas, cuando están ocurriendo cosas que van en un sentido o en el otro. Nosotros es lo que estamos haciendo, es que estamos observando estos cambios que están ocurriendo dentro de Javas y toda esta mutación, por decirlo de alguna manera, de las evidencias que están ocurriendo en JavaScript. De eso se trata, no de tomarse de una evidencia, decir, es que ahora sí, es que esta acá, simplemente es ir observando esta mutación que va ocurriendo con todas las evidencias de JavaScript.
Yeah. See, it's a very big chapter, the changing evidence of the pudgal, you see, the non-self complex.
Es un gran capítulo este el que de los
Yeah.
cambios, las evidencias del pudgal y el complejo del no
Yeah.
ser.
And it's complicated by Prakriti. Prakriti means ego, ego means kashais, you see. And so it's not just the filling and the emptying, filling and the emptying, filling, and the emptying. It's not that it fills. When it got filled in ignorance, you charge, and they were charged by kashais, you see, by doership and kashais. And then, so when they empty, there are the same kashais again, you see, the same kashais again. But they, sorry, go on.
Y esto es importante porque en el Prakruti está el ego y cuando ocurre el ego están los kashais y entonces esto no es simplemente el tema del llenado y el vaciado, simplemente ocurre que también fue este llenado hecho desde el hacedor y entonces cuando viene esta descarga que ocurrió a través del ego, los kashai y el hacedor, también se descarga a
Mm-hmm.
través
Yeah.
eh, cosas que tienen las cualidades de que son el ego, los kashais y el hacedor. Entonces la descarga también viene con esas connotaciones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful, beautiful. So, my friend, let's take a break. And
Ok, vamos a tomar ahora un descanso.
yeah, right, yes. Have some nice mate or whatever, a coffee or espresso, and then come back in 10 minutes, huh? All right? Yeah. Yeah, Sachidan. Love the Niruma behind you, Ryan
Ok,
Hero.
ok, perfecto. Bien,
Lovely.
Sajan.
Beautiful, right? Yeah, Sachidan. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah,
Ya
Sachidan.
es,
Mm-hmm.
ya es. Hola, hola. Bueno, yo me tengo que
Dami,
ir
está
ahora.
Dami,
Sí, veo que está Damián, por eso le iba a preguntar si él podía seguir traduciendo.
sí, dijo que sí.
Perfecto, maravilloso.
Gracias, Cris.
Dale un
Gracias.
besote.
¿Cómo estás,
Muchas
Cristian?
gracias, Jay
Maestro
Bien, un
Sachitana.
yo,
poquito. Ah, dale, pucha,
maestro
fabuloso.
yo.
Dale,
¿Te has
dale,
resfriado?
dale. Con una gripe mortal, pero
Yo
ya
también,
saliendo, ya
sí, fíjate.
saliendo.
¿Cómo llegaste? ¿Tranquilo?
Sí, finalmente llegué bien, sí, llegué bien. Finalmente me vine por Miami y me trajo la TAM y ahí todo fue muy bueno, muy bien.
¿Te dieron un upgrade? ¿Te dieron un upgrade por
Sí,
Miami? No. ¿Sí?
me dieron una upgrade así, pero no.
El upgrade lo tiene para de karma.
Sí, esperemos que venga con upgrade todo esto. Dale,
Cuídate
un abrazo,
mucho.
un beso grande y un abrazo a todos, Jay Chitana.
Sí, sí, sí.
Cristian.
Yes. Okay, Gabi. Shavi.
Jai Sachidanand Shuddha.
Okay, thank you, Christian. And now we have Damian, huh? Jai
Yes, Jai
Sachidanand.
Satchidanand.
Wonderful, yes. Okay. All right. Yes, Gabi.
Gabi.
Shuddha, a medida que va creciendo nuestro Purushart y nos sostenemos en los 5 agnas, también el Prakruti va cambiando, se va como elevando.
Do you understand
Ese,
Spanish, Sudha?
A little bit,
Understand the question?
a little bit comes through. I know
He
which
said
way the
that
direction is going. Yes, go on.
as long as we are keeping our Purusharth and growing our Purusharth, she says that our Prakriti also purifies, se purifica, Gaby, decís vos.
La pregunta es este cambio en el Prakruti, el que el Prakruti se aliviana más que nada. ¿El efecto es porque está más descargado o por el efecto del Purushart y el sostenernos en los 5 agnas?
As long as we stay in the Purusharth, she says that our Prakriti goes better, like lighter.
Yes.
This is because of holding the Purusharth or because, or why is it?
Because we do not interfere in that which is already discharging. You see, the Prakriti has been created, and that is how it is, and it is going to give its results and go away, give its result and dissipate, exhaust, melt away. You see, and so the exact way to be free from the problems of the Prakriti is the 5 agnas. To see. 5 agnas makes us see, you see what is happening. So you're right, yeah.
El Prakriti se aliviana por la no interferencia. Al no interferir en la descarga, el Prakriti se va alivianando. Y eso es por estar en los 5 agnas.
Yes. Yeah. Prakriti is not the problem. The inability to see and use the light of who we are, you see. Use the light of the self is the issue. We need to increase this light, and the more the light becomes brighter, I mean, when a Christian was talking about dim light and bright light, the light becomes more and more bright with every agna that you follow or apply. Agnas means you are the light, you are the knowledge, you are the light. You see, agna.
Dice que el Prakriti no es el problema, que el problema es la inhabilidad que tenemos de ver la luz del ser. Y eso es el agna. Cada vez que estamos en el agna, el ser se va iluminando.
Yeah. Yes. Having said that, there are some heavy contents, special 4 bags. Some contents, heavy content in the Prakriti, and the force of that Prakriti unfolding will move you away from this seeing and remaining in agnas, and that. But the Purusharth is initially, as our Gnani has said to everyone, including you all in Argentina and Brazil, is at the end of the day, you have to see where did I miss the agnas, where was the agna missed, you see. So that seeing again, it clears it. Seeing again clears it. You see?
Dice
and
que el
yeah.
Prakriti a veces tiene contenidos especiales, pesados, y es la fuerza de moverse, de correrse de eso, que te le da el permanecer en los agnas. Por eso el Gnani insiste tanto a veces en ver dónde hemos perdido los 5 agnas, dónde hemos fallado en seguir los agnas.
Dada's agnas are all powerful. You know, they are designed. I mean, this is the beauty of it. It's impossible to really become free of faults in 2025, you know, or since in, you know, last 2000 years. It's impossible to become free of faults. And the fastest and the best way to see faults is to be who you are. So, you know, you are, and then beginning is seeing who you are, then you, next thing is you see what Gabi is doing, and now today we understand that Gabi is under the evidence, changing evidences. Gabi's
Dice que en estos
evidences are
tiempos,
changing, you see.
en estos tiempos es casi imposible estar sin faltas, y la mejor forma de ir disminuyendo esas faltas es verlas, es estar en los agnas para ver quién sos vos y ver las faltas.
At the same time, you see, with this new light that arises in the Gnanvidi, immediately the camera moves inward, the seeing where is the fault, who is at the fault, why did this happen. All of those things automatically, you know, Dada explains in simpler words by saying the fault is of the sufferer, and furthermore Dada says you are not the sufferer, you see. You are not the sufferer in Akram Vignan, you are never the sufferer.
Dice que esta nueva luz que emerge luego de la ceremonia del Nambidi hace que se nos mueva la cámara para mirar para afuera, para mirar adentro. Y ahí Gnani nos explica con palabras hermosas que la falta es del que sufre.
Yes.
Y como empezamos a ver, me pasa que veo muchas faltas, muchas. Y me pasa que sé que debo limpiarlas con el pratikraman. Pero me sobrepasa el pratikraman en sí mismo por lo largo que es, y quisiera saber cómo es verdaderamente este pratikraman, porque claro, estos 500 pratikraman que hay que hacer en el día, cada día me están cuadrando más la cantidad con la cantidad de errores que uno comienza a ver, que son cada vez más sutiles. Entonces, este pratikraman en la práctica, ¿cómo tiene que ser este aloyana? Porque si no es muy largo y uno dice, bueno, ¿y en qué momento vivo lo relativo? Porque como vamos, me tendría que pasar todo el día haciendo pratikraman.
She says that she sees a lot of faults in her, and she's trying to do pratikraman, but it is so long, the pratikraman, that she cannot deal with the relative life and the pratikramans, because she understands that she has to do 500 pratikramans a day, so she cannot deal with that.
No,
Seeing the pratikraman so long.
No, well, forget about 500 pratikramans. If you can do pratikraman for missing the agna, it's enough.
Dice, no te olvides de los 500 pratikraman. Si vos puedes hacer pratikraman por olvidarte de los agnas o perderlos, ya está, es más que suficiente.
And in the agna the agna makes you see the other human being as absolutely pure. And the agna makes you see the uselessness of, the worthlessness of all of these relative interactions. These are continuously changing, you see. And you...
Dice que el agna, let me translate because I forget. dice que el agna es ver al otro como alma pura. Y ese ver el otro como alma pura te hace darte cuenta cada vez más la poca utilidad de todo lo relativo.
Yeah, again, and the real meaning of Pratikraman, real value of Pratikraman is that it brings you back to who you are, and it brings the other person also who he or she really is, you see.
Dice que la verdadera potencia del Pratikraman es ver a la otra persona como realmente es y verte a vos como realmente sos.
Yeah. Yes, Pratikraman is a stage, you see. It's a stage, because when there are a lot of faults and, because the Prakriti has filled so many faults and the faults will hurt other human beings. And Dada just said, you see, Dada just said a while ago that if the one who remains in the Agnas is seeing it, and therefore he doesn't need to do anything, you see. But
Sí,
if he
Pratikraman
doesn't, yeah.
Es un estadio de tu crecimiento, porque Dada en muchos lugares dice que solamente el ver tu falta ya listo, ya está.
Yeah. Damian, can you increase your volume just a little bit more, please?
Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's better.
That's better.
That's better, huh? Yeah. Yeah. See, the Pratikraman is for those who are not able to remain in agnas or are not able to apply the agnas as they are meant to be applied, you see. And then for them,
para aquellos que no pueden estar en los agnas como deberían estar.
Then you're automatically Gabi, you see. When you're not in agnas, you're Gabi, and Gabi is full of faults. Gabi is Gabi is if Gabi is the world of Gabi is the world that is how it is. You see, you'll see some you like some people, you don't like some people, you have opinions about this one, you don't have. So in the world of Gabi, the most important thing is you have to get out and be who you really are and say Soyama Pura, Now begins the real progress, you see, because in the world of Gabi there is no progress. There is no progress in the you can do 1,000 pratikramans, there is no progress, you see.
No progress. Sí, es
En el
verdad.
mundo de Gabi, aunque haga 1.000.000 de pratikramas, no hay progreso. Realmente el progreso empieza cuando vos te das cuenta que sos alma pura.
That is why pratikramans of Akram Vignan are different. Pratikramans of Akram Vignan are associated with the awareness of absolute awareness of the fault. In the light of the self, the fault appears as it is. The fault cannot hide. Okay, the fault cannot hide. You see it, and the seeing it is the liberation. Because the seeing is the liberation. So technically, the science is already in operation. You see, when you say Soyama Pura, and then you see what is happening to Gabi, then Gabis will have, all kinds of positive and negative things going on in Gabi. But to see that means you're free. You see, seeing is the Agna. Seeing is the Agna, you see. Relative
Ver
and
la
yeah.
falta significa que estás en el agna y es realmente lo valioso del conocimiento. Cuando vos ves la falta, quiere decir que estás separado y sabes quién sos.
Yes, so the seeing is in seeing. Agna vision is the separation. Agna vision is the separation from all activity of doership, not only of Gabi, but also of everyone around. Agna vision is the beginning of flawless vision, because you see, when you see in Agnas, There are no faults. When you
La
say,
visión del Agna, no es solamente verte separada de Gaby, sino también verte separado de todo lo demás.
yeah.
Y
In the world of Gabi, there will be continuous questions and why, and I can't get out of it, and what's happening. You see, in other words, this in the world of Gabi, this just so you are not in the world of Gabi. So now your Purushartha is really to not enter there, not go there. You see,
En
and
el mundo de Gaby hay infinitos cuestionamientos, infinitas dudas, y entonces realmente el Purusharth es salir del mundo de Gaby y entrar
yeah,
al
not
mundo.
just see, you think you have faults. Everybody is filled with all kinds of faults. Even the so-called very holy people have all kinds of faults. You see, and so and the fault is not the problem. The lack of the application of the light of the self, not to be able to see it as it is the problem, you see. And it is impossible for human beings to see that, you see, other human beings. It has become, it has become very, very possible and very beautifully possible for all of us, you see.
Faltas, si vos pensás que tenés faltas, todo el mundo está lleno de faltas, incluso los santos. La imposibilidad de ver la luz del ser, de verte a vos como realmente sos, esa es la verdadera falta.
Yeah, yes. You see, when you see a fault within Gabi, or if I see a fault within Shuddha, the seeing itself is the pratikraman, because you are absolutely pure. You are absolutely pure, and that purity lets you see the stains and the lack of cleanliness in that. The purity automatically separates itself from the false. You see, the purity separates from the false. Where is the pratikraman here? It is really, see, your purity is the pratikraman. You are absolutely pure, you see. And in that purity, you see that this is the evidence of the pudgal. This is the evidence of the prakriti, you see. Changing evidence also, you see.
El hecho de ver la falta ya es el pratikraman, porque es de la pureza que vos ves a tu prakruti.
Yeah.
Y eso es el verdadero pratikraman.
The purity is beyond good and bad, and good activity and bad activity, holy activities and sinful activities. The purity is purity, you see. Purity is purity. Absolutely, purity is which is our state, and that is magnificent, and that is our salvation. That is our moksha, really,
Dice que la pureza está más allá del bien o del mal. La pureza es la pureza y esa es tu verdadero moksha.
Yeah, it is our moksha right there. It's a purity, Shuddha Chu, Sampurna Shuddha Chu, Sarvanga Shuddha Chu. I'm pure. I'm completely pure, and I'm totally and absolutely pure everywhere as far as I'm concerned. From everywhere, I'm pure. There is no impurity
Soy
in me.
completa y totalmente puro en cualquier lugar.
There is no impurity
Completa
in me. See,
frecuencia.
yeah, yeah. The impurity is the ignorance. You
La
see,
impureza es la ignorancia.
in ignorance, this happened. In ignorance, this is how it is. But my goal, my love, my desire, everything is no hurt to anyone. And that you are reciting every morning 5 times. You see, every morning as you wake up, it's automatically there. Today, let nobody be hurt through this mind, speech, or body. I mean, you're free. The other says you're free.
Mi pureza es no herir a nadie y lo recitamos cada mañana varias veces. No quiero herir a nadie y eso quiere decir que eres libre.
Yeah, because the rest is not under your authority, your control. or your domain. It is evidence-based. It is evidences of the pudgal and evidences of Gabi and evidences of the prakriti of Gabi are continuously changing, are constantly changing, you see.
Todo lo otro no está ni bajo tu control ni bajo tu dominio, está completamente cambiando todo el tiempo.
When many times it happens to you and I, you go to a person and say, listen, I'm so sorry I hurt you, on that day. And he says, what? I didn't even feel that. I didn't even know that, that you hurt me. I mean,
A veces nos pasa que vamos a alguien y le decimos, disculpame, te he herido el otro día, qué sé yo, y la otra persona te contesta, que yo no sentí nada, yo no me herí para nada.
Yeah. So these are all discharging pudgal parmanus. You see, these are all, they just, they give its effect, they happen, and they discharge, you see. They give their effects. You see, now as we rise in this beautiful awareness in Satsang with Dada, our Pudgal too is become so gentle. Just a while ago somebody was saying that, I think, that, it's become so gentle that there is no hurt to anyone. Its existence is not causing any hurt to anyone, you see. And Dada's level pratikramans are much more subtle, you see. They are not gross or subtle. They are not visible and they are not at the level of the kashai, you see. But even below that, you see, any subtle expression of I-ness, this is me, meo, mao, I, That's Dada's levels, pratikramans.
Let me translate a second. Dice Shuddha que el pudgal es así, que viene, se manifiesta y se disipa. Y que las faltas que veía Dada, esas 500, están mucho más allá que son muchísimo más sutiles que todo lo evidente y que todo lo que vemos, digamos.
Sí, es que son, ya no es cosas que suceden afuera con otros, ni tampoco que sea como Gaby las que las hace. Es como una sensación de error, de estar ahí, de estar en esa relatividad, de caer en esa creencia de que todo eso ilusorio eh, sigue siendo parte de mí. Eso hoy día lo siento como un error grande, y es como recurrente. Es
What
muy
she feels as a
fino.
fault is a very subtle sensation that Gabi enters into the relative for a second, and that she feels it's an error.
Yeah,
a
but
mistake.
yeah, right. You're correct. This is your awareness. In your awareness, you can see that is happening, and that is good. That is your awareness. You see, that awareness is the most precious thing. You see, you're able to see this. You're able to see this. You see, and therefore you are describing it. You see, and now you have to see it as water flowing underneath the bridge. You are on the bridge of liberation, you see. You have crossed the ocean. Now, you're standing on the bridge in the hands of Dada, and you see this water just flowing. Let it flow. Yes. You
Dice que
see?
lo que vos sentís es correcto, que es tu nivel de conciencia, y que ahora lo que vas a empezar a sentir es estar sobre un puente y que el río fluye por debajo tuyo y no te afecta.
Yeah, and even for Shuddha, so all of a sudden all kinds of past visions, all of a sudden internal visions will appear where, it lets me see that particular time and moment, and if the pratikraman is automatic, you see. There is pratikraman is automatic, you see. In other words, you immediately recognize the pure soul. The pratikraman is automatic as soon as you see the pure soul of that person. Oh, Vishuddhatma Bhagwan, in those days I was absolutely ignorant. I was egoistic. I thought I was something. I was everything. I knew best, you see. And then you see, so I've hurt you, and you keep coming in my space. That means maybe there's something that is not, you're still hanging on to something, and therefore you say, please, give me the energy never to kind of treat anyone and you like this, and it goes away, because you are sending the messages not to that person who may or may not be living or may be far away now. You can't have no contact. You are connecting with her or his Amapura, who is everywhere in somewhere in this universe, somewhere
Dice
here.
Sudha que el pratikraman es automático tan pronto lo ves y que realmente vos te estás conectando con la otra alma pura. No estás viendo lo relativo.
Yeah. So, this, it is not a load. Pratikraman is not something that should be considered as a load. If you really recognize, if you really begin to see the error, the Jagruti, the awareness lets you see the error, you see, the error that that is still, holding you, in your beautiful flight, you see, a beautiful flight of the self, you see.
Que el Prakriti no es algo estático y fijo, sino es simplemente ver el error que te está reteniendo de tu propio volar.
Yes, I say, and therefore our dear, so our dear Gnani, Pujya Deepak Bhai, he uses the correct approach. How does he handle 10,000 people who are in front of him, He gives them something to do instead of, enter into useless talk for 40-45 minutes. Okay, now start looking at, your what happened, because you can't see it, and therefore, now you, with the awareness of the separation, let me see all instances, all events of faults of a sexual nature, okay, in my entire lifetime. Now, with that, and he does the vidhi, tells Dada Bhagwan, he tells inside, oh Dada, give all of this, free all of these human beings who are so bound by the problems of sexuality and the consequences of sexuality, you see. So please give them the energy to become free from that.
Así es como nuestro Nani nos hace, por ejemplo, recordar todas nuestras faltas sexuales, llamar todas nuestras faltas sexuales desde nuestro nacimiento hasta el presente, y ahí él hace el vídeo y le dice, por favor, Dada, libera a estas personas de este tema, de este problema. Y por eso hace ese vídeo para nosotros.
Yeah. And so every time you begin to see, you will see new things. New
Y cada vez que
face.
empezás a ver, ves cosas nuevas.
Yeah. And yet the seer is seeing, and the evidences are long gone, but there is that illusory connection that somehow it happened to me is broken. The illusion is broken. Not happening to you. It happened to this pudgal, this Puran Galan complex of subatomic particles. Shuddha, Damian, etc. It happened. It happened. What are you going to do about it? Nothing to be done. Nothing to be done. Even pratikraman is automatic by seeing it. Just because you fold your hands, at least pratikraman means the awareness Yeah, if you feel like it, if the fault was heavy, then just Gabi will automatically go into the Pratikraman mode. Gabi goes into the Pratikraman mode, and you are blissfully seeing it. See, this is the exactness of the separation. You see, Gabi may cry. Gabi may even cry. You see, let her cry. See.
Dice que cuando empezás a ver tus faltas, aunque las evidencias ya se hayan ido, eso permanece en el pudgal y es ahí donde tenés esa visión separada.
Yeah.
Y aunque Gaby llore, las evidencias ya se fueron. ¿Y qué puedes hacer sobre eso? Sino solamente verlas, dejar que se hayan ido y permanecer como el ser puro.
This Pratikraman is not the category of doership. You see, Pratikraman is not something that you do. Pratikraman is the reversal, the absolute reversal from any aggression that happens, and that can only go with the awareness. You see, sure, if you're openly hurting other people and still being a nasty person, that requires actually sitting down and doing the pratikraman with a lot of remorse. But here we are at the level of seeing. You see, all these years you have done already so many samaiks. You see.
El pratikraman no es algo que debamos hacer, sino es algo que debemos revertir. A no ser que hayan sido faltas muy gruesas y gente que todavía siga hiriendo a otras personas, que sea demasiado ostensible, pero no es nuestro caso. En nuestro caso solamente es ver y revertir, no es algo que tenemos que hacer.
Yeah, so the only thing that Dadashri implores us, urges us all, and in this first two paragraphs that were read is to increase your vigilance. You see, your vigilance against negligence. In other words, hey, you miss seeing the Amapura of that person. And so, well, when in the old days, when these faults happened through us before Gnanvidhi, we were not aware of the Amapura experience, you see. We did not know anything about Amapura. Now that we know, you see, now that we know, and then it's a totally different approach to this. You see, this body, a complex called the pudgal, is still with us, you see, as the answer to the first. But the negligence is essentially not recognizing the pure soul. So, all the samaks that we do is actually looking back and applying that negligence, because at that time when it happened, we did not know of the pure soul. Now that we know the pure soul, we now go ahead and say, oh, pure soul, please forgive me, you see. So it's a totally different approach, you see.
Dice que lo único que Dada nos urge hacer es estar vigilantes, es incrementar nuestra vigilancia sobre nuestra negligencia.
Yeah.
Y eso es un total diferente approach, digamos. Es ver la negligencia y por eso hacemos tantos samaiks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
no reconocer el alma pura en el otro. Sorry, Shura.
Good. Thank you. You see, it is the unfolding karma that makes Gavi do, or Shuddha do, or Damian do whatever she is doing. You see, include, So the unfolding karma is making him do that. And what is our role now? Now our role is to see it. That's the most important role, not pratikraman. Pratikraman is not our role. Seeing is the pratikraman. And in heavier cases, if the heavier files are there, they may require more pratikraman. You don't have to do anything. Again and again it will bother you, and therefore again and again you see it. Again and again it will bother you. Again and again you see it. Amapura. Oh, Amapura. And, But
Ahora el
yeah.
karma verdadero es ver cómo se desarrolla el karma. Entonces ahora estamos viendo cada vez que nos molesta, lo vemos, nos molesta, lo vemos. You know,
Yes.
Shura, I think that Deepak was said a couple of days ago is that Vyavastit is no more than our thoughts being dissipating at this moment.
Yes, exactly. This
Thoughts
is
of past life. Thoughts of
absolutely.
dissipating now.
Now, yeah, yes, is thoughts, minds, speech, actions, everything. Not only the thought, everything, all of these are made of subatomic particles, you see, and the pudgal arose in the form of a human being, and the pudgal is now melting away, and yes, that's all, you see. Yes, beautiful, yeah.
Sí.
Yeah.
Le contaba que una cosa que había dicho el Nani es que el Vyavastit hoy son nuestros pensamientos de la vida pasada que se van disipando en este momento.
Yeah,
Y bueno,
this,
Sudha me dice que no solamente los pensamientos, sino también las acciones.
yes, beautiful. Until we meet again, this thing is a very big topic. I think what we've covered today is very, very, very deep. The first paragraph totally wakes us up, you see. This, what our dear Christian translated, you see, in, very, the recognition that the Pudgal has been surrendered and now there is the self only, you see. And there is nothing else that is with me. The surrendering really is the reason why the self has arisen inside the Gnanvidhi. If we didn't surrender this mind, speech, body, then the self would not arise. If you went to the Gnani with saying, I know something, I know this, the results will be different, you see. Yeah.
Hoy hemos hecho un satsang muy, muy profundo y es a partir de rendir nuestra mente, cuerpo y palabra es que nuestro nuestro ser aparece. Si no hubiéramos rendido, si no hubiéramos ido al Nani diciendo yo sé algo, ahí el ser no hubiera aparecido.
Christian Wokwine, do you understand all of this, my friend? Christian?
Christian Walken, ¿has
Sí,
entendido
hola.
algo?
Se
Yes?
escucha bien bajito, Damián,
Sí,
fíjate, pero sí,
perfecto.
aquí estoy atento.
Where are you from? Are you in
¿De
Argentina?
dónde
I'm
eres?
from Santiago, Chile, sí.
Chile,
Yes,
Chile. Yes,
Chile.
yeah. Good, very good. Yes.
thank you.
Yeah, once, thank you. Yes, good to see everyone. Dear Kimochi, Devdasi, Moni, Delia, and Cecilia, everyone here. Our time for enough for today to really kind of work on further internally. And Jai Sachidanand, highest namaskars to
Jai Sachitanand.
Paramati.
Jai
Thank you so
Sachitanand.
much,
Thank you,
Sudha.
Yes.
Sudha. Gracias,
Sachidanand.
Dami.
Yeah,
Gracias,
yeah.
Dami.
Thank,
Gracias,
Yeah.
Jai
Gracias a
Sachitanand.
todos.
yeah,
Jai
Damian, thank you very much,
Sachidanand.
Damian and Marcella.
Thank you.
Yes.
Gracias,
Jai
Marce.
Gracias,
Sachidanand.
Bye.
Sachidanand.
Bye. Bye.
Locuras. Gracias, Sachidanand.
Wonderful. Yes. Jai Sachidanand.
Gracias, Shura.
Jai
Gracias.
Sachidanand.
Jai
All right.
Sachidanand.
Morning, good to see everyone. All right.
Jai Sachidanand.